Welcome to the Alt Asset Allocation Podcast, exploring alternative investment opportunities available to the everyday investor. Here's your host, Ben Lakoff.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Alt Asset Allocation Podcast. Today's interview is with Nico Wilmes, who's the founder and CEO of Los Amigos Tulum, which is the top luxury real estate developer in Tulum, Mexico. This episode is all about Mexico real estate. So we talk about the real estate market overall, luxury real estate, short-term rentals, Tulum real estate, and then we go into great detail on Los Amigos Tulum development itself. I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation about an alternative investment outside of the US within the real estate market. COVID has impacted a lot of these markets, and there may start to be some deals pop up. The ability of going into one of these markets that's been impacted and scooping up some of these deals for a long-term real estate holding in your portfolio might be very, very attractive. Please enjoy this interview with Nico Wilmes. Welcome, Nico.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. You just showed me a little bit of your view out the door, which is beautiful. It's a jungle out there and it looks really nice.
Yeah, this is pure nature. That's why people come to Tulum, right? This is why it got so famous probably in the last year, because secluded areas become probably pretty rare in a world where we're close to 10 billion people. So more and more people living in urban environments, and to have access to this original nature becomes now the new luxury, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Completely agree with that. I was reading on your website as we were chatting before, you have a lot of good videos and content about your background. It sounds like you were a pretty big traveler through Central and South America. I'm curious to start off, what initially attracted you to Mexico and then more specifically Tulum?
Yeah, there is a lot of things. I'm a traveler. Yeah, I was traveling all around the world, Africa, India, Asia, America, and Latin America also. Latin America was a problem. I didn't understand the language. And I thought to really immerse into a country, you really have to speak the language. So I decided to move to Mexico for a while and then take Spanish classes actually in Guatemala. Because Guatemala, Antigua is a small town which is famous for one of the best native Spanish class in the world. And I said, that's perfect. I travel from Mexico to Guatemala, and then I can travel all the other countries in Central America before I go back to Mexico, and then hopefully I speak Spanish. So I did this, started in Mexico, traveled to Antigua, Guatemala, and learned like 3 weeks Spanish, one-to-one. And then I got to know Mark also, which became just a travel buddy, because we both knew each other from a party hostel. We've been in a hostel where everyone made a party, and we were actually the only ones who wanted to study. So I thought we're probably in the wrong place. I didn't know there is so much partying here. I thought it's more a studying place. And so we rented the place together, and we just partied once a week. And during the week, we were pretty disciplined. Our Spanish advanced. And after the 3 weeks, I said, no, I'm going to travel south right now to discover more Central America. And he did the same. And so we became travel friends. And after this, I went to Mexico, discovered more about the amazing opportunities in this country, fall in love, not only with the language, also with the people, and decided, man, I need to stay here and I should do something. And I have a background in renewable energy. In Germany, for example, I have a bunch of solar panels running, because we had kind of a revolution in Germany about renewable energy a couple of years ago. And the funny thing, in Germany, we not even have much sun. And as I got to Mexico, I thought, wow, what an opportunity to make business with renewable energy. And they have the laws implemented already with the grid-in fee and everything to be able to do it. But people are just not doing it. And I said, oh, what a great opportunity. Someone needs to make a business and push this. And I wanted to start first a solar panel business and distribute renewable energy technology. But it was hard because I'm not a technical guy. I have not a company. My Spanish was very poor. And someone said, why are you not making your own development, like a house or something, and then implement all the technology by yourself? And I said, good idea, actually. But I don't know anything about building houses. And then I remembered my friend Mark from Arizona, who traveled me all the way to Central America. I said, aren't you an engineer? And he said, yeah, I'm an engineer. How about you coming down to Mexico? I think the perfect spot for us is Tulum, to buy a little piece of land, to build a house on it, implement a lot of solar technology, and make our first zero emission villa in Tulum. Because I don't know, Tulum is pretty relaxed. No one heard about it yet in 2010, 11. But I think there's a potential to grow. And if it works, we grow too. If it doesn't work, so you have half of the house in the Caribbean. The time we met in 2012, just the year we're supposedly end the world, we started our company and we called it Los Amigos Tulum, which means the friends of Tulum, because we actually just friends who started with an idea together. And we made our first house, built it, and put solar panels on top. So we had a zero emission house, which is pretty new in Mexico and especially in this area. And we rented it out to tourists. And this time we started also with Airbnb. Airbnb had just a few listings in Tulum. We had one of the first listing and we had an occupation rate from 100%. How did we get this? Even if we had little splits in the calendar from 2 days or something, we went just to the bus station and asked people to stay with us because we wanted to have a real occupancy from 100%. We want to be always full. So we made all the costs we spent for the house, we recovered in just 1 year. Oh, wow. Incredible return of investment. People pay their mortgage in America probably for 20, 30 years. We got all the money back in 1 year, working our ass off and trying to invest in new area of the town, and Tulum was pretty virgin. So as we saw this return of investment with our own organic growing, we need to do more. And we didn't have much money as a house we just recovered. And so we started with this money to buy the next land and put all the money we gained into the next construction already. And then we built a little bit higher apartment building. And that run almost in the same way. Crazy returns on investment, not possible anywhere in the world. The numbers we had in this time were spectacular. So we grew from one little house to over 7 projects, financed and developed all by ourselves. And Tulum became at this time more and more known in the world. I think 2016 become like TripAdvisor raising destination in the world #1. So the world, we had Leonardo DiCaprio there making posts, and Justin Bieber wanted to climb the ruins, and a lot of Instagrammers pushed this destination. Didn't have enough rooms to rent to people. There were like 10 times more people wanting to come to Tulum than we have rooms. And so our only pressure was we need to create more rooms for these people and give them a great experience in the jungle. Because what we did, we put a little jungle gym in the garden with like Flintstones, barbells, that they have fun in the jungle. And we had one unit where we had a glass in the rooftop so they can see the stars in the night. We built a rooftop pool so they can swim in the sunset. So really creative and unique units. And after all this, with the years, people come to us and say, hey, you're gonna sell these units because we want to invest in real estate. And we said, no, we don't sell the units. These are money machines for us. Why we should sell the units? And they said, yeah, a lot of people want to buy here. I said, and they would love to buy from you guys because you have incredible reputation with the rental, because everyone can see that you guys have a great rental operation. We got already one of the top hosts all over Mexico from Airbnb, because we're one of the top hosts. We had the girlfriend of the CEO times with us, and a bunch of people from Airbnb stayed with us because instead you have the top listings and you're in the top market. And so we were just riding the wave and thought, okay, if so many people want to buy, and maybe we can make a pre-sale project, because we just bought a new land, because we bought always lands like 300, 600 meters. And then one time we couldn't find the right land. We couldn't find small lands, and the only land was available in a new area very close to us, a 10,000 square meter land, but it was almost out of our budget. We didn't have the money to buy it, but we knew this is high potential. So we bought it anyway. We bought the land in a payment plan we would never be able to cover if we not sell one of our houses from the past. So we bought it, and we sold after a while with the risk to lose everything. We sold our house, and we thought, okay, now we have a lot of land and no money, but now we can start the pre-sale. So if someone wants to buy what we did already in the past, we put now 8 towers on 1 hectare and offer these towers to buy. And if no one buys, who cares? It's better for us, then we're going to keep the towers and just build slowly, because we know the return of investment is phenomenal, and better is if no one buys, we kind of thought. But then we opened for the pre-sale, and it was one of the most successful projects ever built in the whole of VMI. We got sold out with $10-15 million like in less than 3 months. And it was crazy. And then you have suddenly $10-15 million on your bank account, and say, okay, build the whole thing in 1 year. And so, oh, that's a different game right now. Incredible. So instead of building 1 tower after another, we needed to build 8 towers in a little less than 2 years. We need to hire a bunch of people. Our office exploded on all ways and our opportunities too. I thought, now I understand the power of pre-sale. I will just become a developer now. And I said, okay, I understand this is actually incredible opportunity. Since we designed more or less all our buildings by ourselves, I was involved in all the designs and we did crazy designs before. I said, man, if you have this pre-sale money, you can design something completely out of the world. Because now we have budgets not from $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. Now we have budgets from $20, $30 million. And so I started designing and we designed now another 10,000 square meter project with 84 units, where we put in the middle 360-degree rooftop pool, never done in the world yet, and where the water falls 12 meters down in an artificial lake. And we put everything with solar panels on top, and below we put everything, like in the first project too, we put a water treatment plant, because what I forgot to mention is, as we started to development, we saw what all the others developed. And we said, wow, no one has a focus here on sustainable development. And that was our main focus actually from the beginning. With the very first house, we implemented the solar panels, and we got the biggest solar plants now in Tulum all over. And we got the first electric cars. And in these bigger projects, we implemented also the first water treatment plant. Because what you have to imagine, in these new areas all around the world, especially in Mexico, there is no infrastructure. And the government doesn't come and say, yeah, we need development here, we put all infrastructure in front of us. No, they let the developer make what they want if they spend money. And we said, it's not responsible. We're going to put all the sustainable infrastructure you need in the project, and then we communicate it. So whereas all the other developer explained to tourists how great the kitchen are, we said, how great is our wastewater treatment plant? Because this is actually the future, to have sustainable development. And we implemented more than 60% green space in our buildings and said, that's really the value if you come to Tulum, that you have contact to nature and you're able to have this contact. What's the value of a tree compared to a square meter of your concrete? We opened the next project. It's called Panoramic Tulum, 84 unit. It was even more successful, and we got world record. We wrote even to Guinness World Record, and they said, yeah, it's true, no one has ever built a pool like this. But if you want us to give the badge from Guinness World Record, you have to pay $25,000. We said, no, we don't need your badge. We make just a party. So we made a huge opening party, spent $25,000, invited more than 600 people, and had artists there from all over the place. And it was just spectacular. You maybe saw the video in YouTube. And yeah, so there was another huge success. And besides, we did then also smaller projects in another area, but we become then quickly the biggest developer of Tulum. And we grew with Tulum, because Tulum grew so fast and so quick, and we grew fast and quick with them too. But we are pretty proud on this growing, because like I said, this is written really big in our company on the wall, and everything we do is behind this mission. So we've asked with everything we do how we can make a sustainable impact. That goes from the design on the distribution and the technology from all our projects. For example, it starts with the lower level where we have the treatment plant, which costs like $500,000 in every project. So we spent it already more than $2 million now just in treatment plants. And we have solar integration, and we have the most advanced solar system in the world. So we have not only the solar panels, on the rooftop, we have also smart solar systems which turn with the sun and make a beautiful design. We have transformer solar panels in facade. We have an aeolic system like wind turbine, a vertical wind turbine, the first all over Latin America. It was really efficient and low wind. And we have electric car fleet. And we have now, really exciting, we have now the first electric passenger drone in the world, hopefully as soon as the pandemic ends, because we're right now waiting only that the Chinese get the visa and get out of the country. Because I'm not sure if you know, but China was one of the first countries who got the COVID, the virus, and now they have it more or less under control. But now the government doesn't let their own people fly out, especially in regions where North America, where everyone is contaminated. But this is quick, more or less the ride we had from a small two friends building a little house in the Caribbean to become the biggest developer. So quite the ride. That's why we wrote the book, Backpacking to the Moon, because we have future projects actually not only on this planet, also on our transit, which is the moon.
That's a really amazing story. A few things. One, I've taken Spanish classes in Antigua, actually, in the region in 2007. And
wow, before us.
I spent 11 months backpacking through Latin America in 2009 as well. And then oddly enough, haven't spent much time in Latin America since then. I just recently went back down to Mexico for the first time. And Yeah, it's been a while, but I love the culture. I love everything about it. The story's amazing. It makes me really excited to go back to Tulum and see how many changes have been made in the last 15 years, because I'm sure it's been insane.
Yep,
But
insane.
zooming out a bit, I'm sure you do. Why Mexican real estate? I mean, you've based your business there in Tulum, but what gets you really excited about Mexican real estate, like at a more macro level?
Yeah, everything is follow your passion. And I was kind of burned out and said, I need to travel more. There is so much more outside. Let's see what there is. And you can't figure it out while you're in the country. You need to immerse yourself in the outside world. So I traveled everywhere without any, and I always traveled as an entrepreneur. So if I go in a country, I ask also, hey, what's growing here? What people living for? What's trends? What's coming up? What do you need? So I was always like this. And actually it was close to make a similar business, which I have in Germany, in India, because I thought, man, in Germany, I need to pay $100,000 to get one machine for my business, and in India I can have a whole company for $100,000. So I rather go in countries with dynamic. Because as a young entrepreneur, you want to be in a dynamic environment. So in Germany, it's not so dynamic actually, except you maybe in a tech business or something, but it's not so dynamic in my field. So I thought I need to go in countries which have high dynamic economies, and Mexico applies for that, right? Mexico is 1,500 years old, and as I remember, nothing has changed ever. But here in Mexico, there is so much growing. The first city I lived in, San Luis Potosí, is in the middle of the country, very Mexican city, no tourism there or anything. So I got really a good feeling for the Mexican culture and how they really think and everything. And I saw so many changes there. It just excites me. As an entrepreneur, if you see change, you get excited because you know change is opportunity. And especially if you don't know what to do. That's perfect, because you just see so much things happening and then you wait for your pick. And since I have this background in renewable energy, and I had a big passion for this, because my solar panels in Germany, they fascinated me always, because I'm kind of a distributor of solar energy. And so I'm selling this energy. People pay me for the energy, and no one actually needs to work for it. It just comes from the sun, and you help to make a positive footprint of this earth. So it feels really good. It gives you a good feeling to work in this field. So I thought, wow, Mexico is really behind a lot of other countries. Like South of America has huge, South of USA has huge potential, and they're picking up in good speed, I think. But Mexico is way behind, and it's just because people don't know. So someone needs to communicate this, and the best way to communicate is to be an example. So first you have to do it by yourself. So I said, yeah, let's start small, but we become big so fast. But now we're doing still conferences all over the place, how we tell even competitors to be more sustainable and explain everyone to be more sustainable, even on universities, because we have restaurants where we have this Beyond Meat burgers, where we say it's a sustainable hamburger. You don't need to eat so much meat. And we have an academy, so we teach people all our knowledge we have in the company across areas and across the community. So this sustainable factor, which is economy, the environment, and the commitment to the social environment, if you talk about sustainability. So we try to be 100% believable in this, because this is really what was a driver from us from the beginning, and what motivates us to make the difference, because everyone can build in Tulum, but no one built it with a sustainable interpretation like we did. So we love to talk about this technology with our investors. Our investors too, they invest to make a return. We tell them, hey, only save a lot of money. This is the future. Like if you have a house who has no sustainable technology integrated, then the value of your house is probably not so high in the future. It's a little bit like Elon Musk said, what do you think what your car is worth in the future if it's not electric? Not much. And same is with houses too, right? And we try to be the Tesla of real estate in our area.
I completely agree. I mean, these emerging markets are coming from such a low base. They're super dynamic. That's where all the growth is. So tremendous opportunities in a lot of these markets, such as Mexico. I'm curious, Mexico is growing. It's so close to the US. Obviously, there's a lot of tourism, but why aren't people flocking to make investments in Mexico? I've read that some people are worried about the government taking back your property or things like this, but what are the main fears you see in investors before foreign investors, like American investors?
Yeah. People are, it's always the same. People are just afraid and feel fear of something that people are not informed. They read maybe something or heard something, but they're not really informed. So what we do actually to all our people who are interested to invest, we inform them, and we can inform them than anyone else, because all the suspicious things we got through at the beginning too, because we are foreigners too. And some things are different in Mexico than you may be used from what you're home. But it's the old rule, right? If you think there is more risk, yeah, there is maybe more risk, but that's why you have more rewards too. All the returns of investment, our investors or ourselves, we made were impossible in other markets. And not only because of Mexico, there is the closeness to America that helps. Obviously, the Riviera Maya, Tulum, Mexico, Cancun has a steady growing now that over 50 years. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar business worldwide right now. So there you see how many potential is in this area. And then Playa del Carmen was, I think, in a growing. And we came actually too late for this market. If you want to invest in Cancun, you need probably $1 billion. If you need to go apply to Carmen, you need probably a few $1 million. And we had nothing like this. Where you say, hey, you know what? Tulum was still virgin. And we said, we're not in a hurry. If the picks up in 5 years or in 10 years, we don't care. We just want to start slow here because we're passionate about to be able to live in this paradise. And so we had no hurry, but we just got picked up by the wave then and surfed them starting from 2012. But yeah, people are just scared because they're not informed.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? It's not as familiar. It feels very wild. It feels very risky, even though it might not be. So when you're informing these investors and kind of telling them the reality, what key fears are you helping them get through? I mean, just what large hiccups did you experience when you first started in Mexican real estate that you wish you knew before that you can kind of help investors navigate now?
Yeah, I remember a lot of talks with someone who said, hey, Nico, but can I not move to Tulum, buy a piece of land and do it all by myself? I said, of course you can do it by yourself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can build your iPhone by yourself too.
No,
you know?
you can read our book and then you see exactly all the secrets are in it. There's not much secret. But are you willing to be a few years right now in Tulum, 24 hours all year, and really go through everything we went through, right? The Mexicans sometimes ask me, but wasn't it a lot of pain there and there? And we said, no, we didn't care about this pain because for us, everything was an experience. So obstacles become a challenge, and we grew with the challenge. We loved it. So if you're the same kind of type, do it. Don't buy anything from any developer. Go all in. But I got to tell you, the times are different right now. If you rent your little villa or your little apartment, like we did in the beginning, for the same price probably, and we saw in this time already that it's not going to last forever. That you have a little concrete floor, small 25 square meter apartment, and you could rent it out for $300 in Airbnb. That's not going to last for long. And we had the golden times, and we said, how can we move our business in the future? And we saw that to move in the future, it's always the same rule: you need to grow or you die. The nature knows just two status, right? You die or you grow like a tree. And we decided to grow. That's why we made these big projects where we can actually have more environment and nature included, but we also more resistant. We have more unique projects. So we did the biggest project ever built in Tulum, like on 10,000 square meters. And we're not competing anymore with these small Airbnb type units, because everyone can rent his own apartment on Airbnb and say, hey, stay for $50 in my place, it's cheaper. And there is a hike. Now we have a big competition going on in these Airbnb types. Luxury hotels in Cancun, 5-star hotels, why are they charging $500 and don't go lower? Because they have amenities. They have the same room type, maybe a small 30, 50, 60 square meter room, but they have amenities. They have a huge pool, and they have crazy amenities. And so we got to get the amenities too. So with our first project, we thought, okay, now we need to build a gym, and we cannot build a Flintstone gym anymore. Since it's a pre-ship project, we need to give trust to the people, it needs to be quality, and it's not only fun anymore. So we said, let's build a 3-story gym. Let's build a gym no one has ever built for. And we built a 3-story gym with a climbing wall for over $1 million. So we built a 54 apartment, and we built a 3-story gym with a climbing wall and put the best equipment in the world, from hammer strings and live fitness in it and treadmills who run without electricity. So a completely over the top gym, because we said, look, we want to make sure that our owners and our guests, I have a Tesla, of course, here, and the first Tesla all over Mexico, I think, or at least in the state. And, if you buy a Tesla, it gets better and better in time because they send you an upgrade over the air. And it's true. And it's phenomenal. That's why you could never drive another car, because it just goes lower and lower. And in real estate, we try the same right now, because what we did, we built this amenity, and this amenity is now available for all the other condominiums too. So if you buy in a future project, you have an amenity in your project, but you have also access to a 3-story gym in another project. And as we grew, for example, our amenity is now amazing. We have a 10,000 square meter beach club, which all our owners can access with a free shuttle. We didn't have that as we started. It just came along. We wrote an email to owners, hey, thank you for investing with us. Now, after 2 years, we got to tell you we have now a free beach club shuttle who comes every day to your condominium. If you want, you can just jump on and go to our beach club. Then suddenly we opened our own cinema in Tulum. So we opened a private movie theater. It's called Cine. It's like a cinema experience where you look and see your movie, and on the other side you see the jungle, because it's right in the jungle. And you can order the film you want, and you can order the food you want, and then you have a really private, secured experience. And it got #1 on TripAdvisor. And yeah, now we have a luxury spa. We built a spa for $1 million, a restaurant, a few restaurants already, and we combine all these crazy amenities to, instead of building just a few gyms, we build one gym which is out of the world, right? Or instead of building little cinema rooms in every condominium, we build one giant luxury cinema experience which everyone can use. And that makes really the difference for our investors and for our guests who come to Tulum, who compare us more the experience with the resort style experience than with an Airbnb, where you compete really just about the spaces and who has the cheapest price. And we don't want our investors to have competed about the price. We want our investors to compete with the experience and the quality. And there we are really unbeatable right now in Tulum.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you've got to differentiate yourself, and when you're doing these super premium
and the drone.
Amenities,
now comes the drone. Cool. This year we just started with the drone.
Yeah. It's just the beginning. There'll be drones zipping all over the place soon, huh?
Yeah, this year we deliver the newest, biggest project, 170 units. It's the biggest project ever built in Tulum. We starting delivery actually next month already, and towards end of the year, unit by unit. And this is the project which is going to have, it's the first project in the world that has a drone pad included in the project. So the idea is in the future, people can go with a drone, autonomous, and fly around the area and have an amazing experience, completely sustainable, because the energy comes from electricity, and the electricity we use to power the drone comes from the sun. So you fly with just pure sunflower. And these are kind of experience we really want to push towards the people, because we think the new luxury is sustainability. And all our owners, investors, they're all on the same page and they share the same values. And the beauty is that we are in a tourist area. So what we have is we need to be exciting. We need to excite people, because no one goes to Tulum because of a necessity. You go to Tulum because you want to, because you wish to have an amazing time in Tulum. So it's all about emotion. That's why our projects are really, really talk to you on an emotional level, because we want to give you a crazy, emotional, sustainable, innovative experience. And that's what we did since 2012. And now we do it on a really high-tech level with this passenger drone, for example, and really innovative, because people invest in pre-sale project. That means you need to offer them something which they're going to get in 2 years. So if you want to be innovative, you need to offer something which is going to be still innovative and pushing with a drone. We really needed to have it in, because in 2 years is this year, because we thought in 2 years, it's already not so new anymore. And now we're really on the pinnacle. And I think we have one technology there who is really, really excited. I've been actually in the US the last year to make the NASDAQ IPO on IHA. They're officially now NASDAQ listed, and it's exciting. The first drone company in the world who is officially listed on NASDAQ or on any public stock exchange. And I'm probably the first customer all over America, and definitely the first drone in Latin America. First project in the world who has a drone pad. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. And that's what it's all about. It's about
Awesome.
Excitement, because that's what people are willing to pay a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on a few things there. It sounds like the investors in these developments receive a portion of the return from short-term rentals like Airbnb. Is that accurate?
Yeah, almost everything. Like if we sell the units, what we do in every unit, in every project, we try to keep units for ourselves. Because like I told at the beginning, as we started the project pre-sale, we did because we didn't have the money. And we said, hey, if someone wants to buy towers, it's okay. But I had negotiated with people that said, please don't buy the unit, because I know how good the project is. If you don't buy it, I keep it for myself. It's great. But still a lot of people bought. And yeah, I'm kind of jealous. Sometimes you're giving away a child, right? So a lot of units, I see, wow, they're running perfectly in the rental program or in the hotel operation. I think, wow, imagine all these units would be still us. But we didn't have the 30 million, so we needed to have investors, and we still need investors. So there is a great opportunity to invest in this, and then all the money from the rent out goes to them. That means if someone is, for example, foreigner, and said that's a very common question. So who's taking care of my unit? Because I live in the US, I live in Europe or in Russia. What can I do? And I say, no, we are there. We are actually a Tulum-based company. That means everyone on our team is there. We are not only a builder and designer, we also operator, and we all in Tulum. And we take care of you and your problem if you want, because some projects is not obligated. The new ones, yes, in any time. So that gives a huge boost of confidence for the people, because even if they're not here all year round, they know it's taking care of the unit and we manage them. And yeah, the money goes to them. We just charge fees, but the majority of the rental income goes to owners. So they make passive income with the property in one of the hottest rental market in the world. And we compare to Miami, we compare to Dubai. No one's going to beat this market right now. This year is tough, of course, because of COVID.
And what kind of rental yields are you looking at net of your fees? Basically, I buy this property, I buy this 1-2 studio, 1-2 3-bedroom apartment for X amount, and then I'm sitting in the US. You list the property on these short-term rental sites or through your own site, and then you manage the guest check-in, cleaning, all of this stuff, and I pay you a fee, obviously. But what kind of rental yield are kind of you talking about?
Yeah, there is two investments. There is investment in the real estate, which if you invest in pre-sale, that's how we got our financing done in the majority, because people invest in pre-sale projects. And then you make, like, we thought between 30 and 40% capital gain up to finishing of the construction. But we have also the first Central Park we built actually got 100% capital gain in the first 2 years. So it's hard to predict, but we just communicate the numbers in the past. But obviously there is a big chance of capital gain if you buy in pre-sale to finish the construction. So there's one thing. And usually people in Dubai, for example, they buy, and if the unit is done, they resell it. They just want to make the capital gains. But here in Tulum, it's different. We have very few resale, because after we finish the unit, it starts with the rental operation, and the rental operation generates great cash flow. And if someone generates cash flow, you don't want to sell the unit. It's like a running company. It generates positive cash flow, and if you're good about it. And yeah, our historic numbers are between 8 and 20%. We don't communicate 20% anymore because it's a little bit too crazy. But right now we communicate, if you don't want to do anything, like if you're not here, you have a chance to make rental income passive completely. That means you're not coming, you don't care, you just receive your money, and we charge the fees for administration of unit. Yeah, there is a capital gain, which you make usually traditional talking between 30 and 40% capital gain if you invest in pre-sale, and then between 8 and 12% return of investment with the vacation rental.
And your fees are a percentage of that, or how do those?
Yeah, they're all taken care of. We charge usually, and others too. We're not the only one offering this.
Yeah, of course.
We have, but it's around 25%. So
Okay.
from $100 come in, 25% go off, and that's what get paid: the distribution, the maintenance, and not the maintenance, not the check-in, check-out, and then we take off also the maintenance later, and then you still make between 8 and 12%. We got to be honest, in a normal year, because this year people probably don't make it with COVID.
Yeah,
it's hard to predict, but in a normal year, that's why I say always investors see it please as a little bit long-term investment, not 30 years or 20 years, but see it as a 10 years investment, because tourism goes up and down. So there's crazy years where we make maybe 20% return on investment. We think there's going to be, after the COVID, we're going to have a nice recharge here in the area, because a lot of people who wanted to travel couldn't travel. So usually tourist destination, if they suffered for a while, they pick up really quick, because a lot of people want to come there. So we see, yeah, in some years you have a bad year like this one in COVID, but maybe you get crazy returns next year, who knows? So I would say see it a little bit long term, because it's like on the stock exchange, you have good years and bad years, but you cannot lose, because it's real estate. It's your property, 100% your property, and you have the capital gains, you have the market growing, and yeah, you cannot lose. You can only gain. And
obviously this year, most of the growth in Tulum as a destination, like you said, it's tourism, right? Making an investment in real estate in Tulum, you're making an investment in Mexico real estate and specifically Tulum real estate growing. What are the key drivers? What do you see as the biggest key drivers of growth within Tulum itself or Mexican real estate? I mean, are you seeing more Chinese tourists as the Chinese middle class grows, more tourism in Mexico? Like, what kind of key trends are you seeing in the tourism area, specifically in Tulum?
Yeah, Tulum, that is one of the magic things in Tulum, that the vibe of the tourist is pretty unique. So there is not only great internationally in this tourist, also the people are a little bit more conscious. They're a little more educated or interested in the area, in themselves, in nature, sustainability, everything in Cancun, where people come and just want to make party or something. It's really, really interesting. I think that's why I always say people need to come to Tulum, stay a few days to feel the vibe of Tulum. So yeah, people come from all over the world. There is maybe trends, like if you have the New Year's time, you have a lot of people of New York coming because they are the ones who pay the highest price in the world. They're the ones who pay $500 or $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 in Azulik for one night because they don't care. They say, I need to be in Tulum right now because Tulum is so hip. I need to be there. I need to be there New Year's because I have no other time in the year. So then in summer, you have more domestic market. Even Mexicans come a lot to Tulum right now. You have Europeans coming in summer. And yeah, you got also Chinese and all around the world, but the smaller numbers, especially this year and next year, probably because of the visa situation. So yeah, the biggest market is America, Canada, Mexico, and then came European market. No? And now we see the recovery. We see domestic market picking up, Americans coming, and Europeans, I think this year, not so quick. Next year, probably.
Yeah, it makes sense. This year is definitely an outlier year for anything tourism related.
Yeah, it's funny. We thought it's going to take slow, but right now it's packed. Tulum is full. We are more than 90% occupancy. The price is not so high yet, but we didn't expect so much tourists in this time of the year, still with COVID. So that's interesting. Like I said, there is a lot of pressure in the market to pick up again. So look, we have the COVID is in the US very high, in Mexico very high, and still people are pressuring in the market. It's funny, the beach is officially prohibited to enter right now by the government, and it's full of people. It's it's crazy. So there is a huge demand for this destination, and you can see even in this time. So. And that we have this setback right now. For me, it's a healthy setback. We committed to sustainability, and the big winner of this crisis is also in all these years right now a little bit overheating the market in Tulum. Too much development. The developer who just came to make money, who are not committed with the destination. And we think this cleans up a little bit Tulum. So who has a long-term strategy in Tulum, who stays, who had just a short-term strategy in Tulum and just want to make a quick buck, he's not so much interested anymore. And I think it's very healthy for the destination. And so I see a lot of things of this crisis right now, especially in Tulum. I see it very positive.
Yeah, definitely positive. Give it a little cooling off period. I'm curious, with tourism down, the US dollar very strong, the dollar goes further in Mexico. Are you seeing a dip in prices, a dip in your prices on these pre-sales? American investors could take advantage of Mexican real estate right now?
Yeah, we saw more flexibility in prices, but you need to be careful. They're giving offers, ridiculous offers, and we don't go with that. We are more flexible with pricing too, but more in payment plans, because we have people who invested even with us and say, I need a little bit more flexibility right now. We understand. We try to help wherever we can. And but in pricing, if you want to deliver quality, it has its price, even in Tulum. It's not really for cheap. And that's why we love to show everyone who's interested all the development that they understand the main difference in the quality and the achievement of our projects compared to everyone else. So yeah, sometimes people come, I just want to see the price. I want to, how much is your square meter price? And I say, you don't understand our product if you measure us by square meter price. It's like a Mercedes-Benz or a Tesla costs more like a little Honda, right? And you cannot say, why is the car so expensive? Let me explain why. No? And here is the same thing. You need to, people focus sometimes, I want to invest in real estate and focus in Tulum on the square meter price, but they don't understand that the real business they want to be in is actually a tourist business. And that's why we need to educate people. A lot of educators said, don't focus on the square meter price, because even if you buy a 42 square meter apartment, which is really small, you get a 10,000 square meter park within, and you're part of 30,000 square meter amenities. So you got to value all of this. No? And you, at the end, you want to make an ROI, return of investment. And we can show you real numbers. how we did this return of investment for all our clients, or most of the clients in the past. So we understand the market, and there came a lot of developers last year on the market who don't have experience in Tulum yet, right? Who are developers somewhere else. And we see a lot of designs from us and other projects. We see a lot of rental projection in our other projects. So that's why I said, I think it's right now great that the market cleans up a little bit and that the investor gets more conscious and compares a little bit more deep. Because we work with brokers too, but we love to actually to have the client in our project and talk to him, to educate the client so the client can make an educated decision. It's about his money, and it's about a long-term decision. It's not about you buying something small, right? And we know that if the investor is happy and understands everything he bought, he feels great. He feels great in the pre-sale project, understands everything, especially in a year like this, where people maybe think, why is not making my return? I say, yeah, this is called COVID, and we got to talk about it. And instead of going only on the price, it's dangerous. Like the big money, making the big hotels like the Hyatt and the Hilton, and you can see they spend it on their hotels. And that's what we're aiming for. Yeah. High quality luxury, because there is actually the money. In the low, we see high competition coming up all over the world with individual comparable spaces, like your local Airbnb, your neighbor unit.
That makes sense. And are you comfortable talking numbers, rough figures? I mean, the amenities, it sounds like the amenities are built into the price per square foot or per square meter. It's less about buying it at this price and having a HOA fee sort of thing monthly to access those amenities. You're paying for it up front in the purchase price. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, that's even more exciting right now, because if you buy with us, let's talk just about the gym, because everyone has an imagination. The other things you get to really see, like the cine experience and everything, and the spa experience. But the 3-story gym, people can imagine pretty good. Like, we invested $1 million to create this amazing gym. And so this is now a free amenity for you if you buy with us. And usually if you have a gym, even if you have a small gym in a condominium, usually it's a really small gym where no one goes. And you pay maintenance for this. Why are we able to do it? Because we have access to the gym also for outsiders. So what we're going to do, we offer the benefit for our owners. We honor the benefit to their guests who come to our project or the project we're invested in, and offer this benefit to get the units running. And we offer it also for outsiders to refinance us. So everyone wins. You don't pay, you get the biggest amenities you can imagine, and you pay nothing for it. You just get the benefit. And we say, okay, but we have also outsiders coming to our beach club, outsiders come to refinance our investments. Right? So everyone wins.
Makes sense. Like rough figures, and if you're not comfortable talking about that, that's fine.
No,
but for a one-bedroom apartment, I think I saw some numbers on your website. What is the expected price per night that you could rent it out on short-term rentals and occupancy numbers? Like, just walk me through the calculations, back of the envelope kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like you can start a studio already with $140,000. The studio is like around 38 to 42 square meters. And the studio is more or less like a hotel room from the size, but with a kitchen. So if you want, you can actually live there, or you can rent it out. But it's this is what it is: a studio unit with a full kitchen, and it comes with all the appliances. There's a fridge in it, a microwave, and there's kitchen, and there's everything in it. You just need to put a bed in, and even this you can include if you negotiate. And yeah, that is like $140,000, and you can rent out this for easy for $100 to $150 up to $200 a day in the high season. And occupation is probably with this like 20, 25 days of a month. There's a lot of number I can spit out to you, but we have actually projection of all of this, but it all comes out. But then you have like costs. You need the maintenance costs, you need to pay all the property fees, and it comes down to $12,000, $14,000 cost or something, but you still have, after all the costs, an ROI from 8 to 12%. We got the breakdowns all sendable if you want to implement them later or something. But
I can link the calculations in the show notes. Just
wanted to make it easy, with the studio unit, you buy for $140,000 to get a rental income from about $3,000 a month. Probably not possible somewhere else.
Yeah,
and this is just a studio unit, and then we have studio standard of $140,000, and we got penthouse up to $600,000, $700,000 depending. And you can buy, for example, a 3-bedroom lock-off for around $500. I think it's even immediately delivery right now in some of our smaller projects. And there what we do is lock-off option. They rent probably better. They rent better if you have smaller units. But some people want a big unit. And so they get a 3-bedroom unit. And if they're not there, we can cut the units in 3 individual units and rent them out individually. And so maximize the rental income for the owner. So yeah, then you have like 3 studios running for the price of 1 unit. So it all depends with the owners. It's really important to talk with everyone, because it depends also how much money you invest, right, to get the discounts secured. And it depends what is your relationship with the destination, because usually everyone has some kind of destination connection with us. So it's not that, yeah, I don't care, I send you now the money and leave me alone, send me just the money. No, they want to come. They want to enjoy. They want to send friends and family. So we always tell them, hey, you can send your family, you come whenever, but if you're staying here in New Year's, you hurt your investment. But it's, of course, if you spend time there over New Year's, maybe it's a return you cannot put even numbers. But yeah, it's very individual. What is really the goal of the person, right?
I'm curious with Mexican peso FX risk. The numbers that you're quoting are in dollars. Does that mean I purchase the studio in dollars and then my monthly revenue is also realized in dollars? Or do I have
that is a big benefit, because I saw that as the COVID started, a lot of people fleet in the dollar market, and I said, hey, you don't need to fleet, because this is a dollar market too. This is the beauty of Mexico, at least of the Riviera here, since it's a tourist destination, everything is calculated in dollars, because people pay in dollars too. But the costs are in pesos. So your maintenance cost and everything is going to be in pesos. It's going to be translated for you if you want in English and everything, but the main cost is produced in pesos. And the revenue, especially right now, since the dollar doesn't rise up, but the pesos went down because they're affected by the petrol industry. And this makes it more attractive if your home currency is US dollar, right? Because you have like a 20-30% discount right now just with the currency spread. So yeah, for Americans, traditionally they had huge opportunities in Mexico. They know that, right? That's why so many Americans invested in. But now it's probably better than ever. So if I had still money in foreign countries, I would move it right now. Because people don't understand, if you invested in a currency, in cash, this is investment. So a lot of people have money right now after all the money they got from the government. And you invested in the worst investment of your life, in cash. So we're going to put it, right? Try to get gold. You want to have a roller coaster on the stock exchange, like Tesla is already overblown like hell. Or you go in real estate, right? And here it's such a solid business. It's so easy, right? It's so easy. It's such an easy business. You invested in a real estate project. It gets developed. You can come whenever by yourself and check it and feel it and enjoy it or whatever. And if you're not here, we rent it out to tourists. And you know what? You invest in Mexico and we rent it out on a daily basis to tourists who pay a lot of money to be in this top destination. So it's that's why my mother invested. That's why my brother invested. That's why my friends invested. That's why everyone I know who has a little bit of money invested already, because it's just too good of an opportunity. And like you said, people were usually scared before. Maybe they don't like the person they talk to. But people felt a lot of confidence with us because we can transmit really that we went through all the questions they have. And if we say something is safe in terms of security of investment, I can't tell you if there comes another COVID next year. But if this is a safe investment in terms of legal perspective, I can tell you that and back it up with all the legal stuff you need, right? And so it really doesn't make sense. I remember the talk of my brother. I said, no, I want to buy an apartment right now in Europe, in Germany. I said, but you know that I do real estate in Mexico. You know more or less what we did. Said, yeah. I said, don't be stupid right now. And then I saw the numbers, and then even my very conservative brother invested now in the unit. And he also made 100% capital gains, and a solid 10 to 12, even 15% in the first year return of investment.
Nice. Yeah, those are good numbers. And I'm curious, I've read rental income is taxed at 25%, capital gains are taxed at 25%, and then
No. It's not taxed. This is just a fee for the service. So if we do
but this is actual taxes based on the Mexican government, no?
Yeah, that depends. That is another beautiful thing. Because if you invest here, that is one thing. You apply to all the tax laws. If you want to sell the unit, for example, The rental income, you just give a bank account where you want to have the rental income, and we send the money to the rental income wherever the clients want it. Because we have clients from all over the world. There is no tax law which applies for everyone. If someone says he lives in Panama, we send the money in Panama. And someone says he lives in US, we send the money in US. So we can send the money wherever you want, right?
Gotcha. So they're probably
And
taxed
then
in their home state or country or whatever rate that
they,
would be. What are
yeah.
the other kind of costs associated? You know, normally with real estate, there's rather high transactional costs. I read somewhere that it was, 5 to 12% sort of thing in Mexico between the agents and all of the other transfer taxes, all of these things. What kind of numbers are you looking at there?
If you buy with us a preset project or something, you just pay actually a promissory buying contract because we have nothing to sell you yet. Then the notary fee, yeah, it's a little bit high, but I think it's between 5 and 7. Everyone can negotiate. Maybe it's cheaper right now because we had boom times where everyone wanted to make a lot of money. Even notaries said, hey, we don't give them the titles below this percentage. But I think right now is a good time to negotiate that too. But yeah, we had owners at the end. There is a trick because you get rental income because it's not in the sales price. Because it's not our part. So if the unit, we just finish the unit and say, here's all the legal documentation, so you can title the unit now whenever. And what some owners made is they say, okay, thank you very much for all the legal documentation. Can you start renting already? Yeah, we start renting already. So you generate income cash. So they waited 2-3 months. And then with their first income cash, they paid the notary. So it's actually, not free, but they didn't need to raise the initial investment on.
Along that topic, financing in Mexico, if an American investor wants to invest in one of your projects or in Mexico, can you get a local loan through a Mexican bank? Do you need to get a loan from your own country? Do you guys offer financing? What does that look like?
Yeah, we offer financing. In the pre-sale projects, we offer payment plans. So you can decide. We have so many different projects. You can decide, hey, you want the projects. If you want to invest right now, for example, I say, okay, you want me to make a payment plan toward end of the year? I have a project which I deliver end of the year. Okay, it's too fast. Yeah, you want me to make a payment plan between 2 years because I have a project which we're going to live in 2 years. So you're on the early phase of investment. Or you have all the money and want a unit we have finished already. And you want us to give like a developer finance. We offer right now, like I said, a lot of flexibilities on our side. Yes, that is possible. But banks, local banks, I would say no. Don't come with the experience because I know Americans, they get credits everywhere in America. But here, I would say it's for foreigners. Here, the local banks don't know you. And the local bank at home doesn't know anything about the area. So usually there's no connection and it doesn't work very well. So yeah, you need to have your loan from your home country for some assets you have in your home country. But I don't think you can say, yeah, buy now a property in Mexico and I just give the bank my unit in Mexico. They're going to say, I don't know where that is, and it's in this Tulum town.
Or how to value it or anything like that. Probably won't go over very well.
That is maybe just applies for old towns like Mexico City, where it's a long history or something. But for boom towns like Tulum, I think the banks have it not even in the papers. So it's a cash investment. That's a good thing. That's just the beauty about us too. America, you have a lot of debt and everything, but everything we did in Tulum, everything is paid. That's the beauty. So that's why even a crisis like this, no one can stop us. But everything is paid, and we're just building if we have the money. So that is why we're pretty solid against every subprime crisis, something, because everything is paid. There is no credit in it.
What surprises do most investors get with investing in Mexico? It sounds very easy and great on paper, but some of these things like the Mexican trust, the fideicomiso.
Yeah.
So anything within 50 kilometers of Mexico's coast or 100K of Mexico's borders is restricted, and foreigners, the property is owned by this trust and you're the beneficiary.
Right.
I mean, what other surprises do most foreign investors get as soon as they sign on the paper and invest in Mexico?
Yeah, maybe that everything is a little bit slower. And what you said is true. You need a fideicomiso because there is this law. I saw it in the beginning too. You can avoid it with two things, with the fideicomiso, or you open your own company. It's my company, and the company can buy whatever. But then you have to run the company. So if you don't want to run a company, you can do this bank trust. So all the banks offer this. And yeah, it's a standard process here. It's like millions of units have been sold like this. And there is some tax beneficials actually, because your government doesn't even know that you have a unit because you have actually just a trust. And so there is a lot of depth in it in terms of tax benefits if someone is interested in this. But yeah, mainly you just sign at the notary. The notary comes already with a trust prepared and said, yeah, you sign here that you're a trust holder, and with this bank, you can choose between a few banks who offer that, and that's it. And then you're a fideikommissario, like you said, yeah, you're a trust holder. And so if you sell the unit, you're actually just selling the trust. There is a small fee you have to pay every year. That is maybe the only difference. But don't forget, in America, for example, you pay a lot of tax if you own land, own houses and everything. With the trust, the cost of owning property in Mexico is really very low.
That's significant. I'm out in California now, and I mean, the prices are just astronomical, right? It's like $2,000 per square foot. And even if you buy it, you buy $1 million house, you're looking over 1% in property taxes that grow every year. You know, people don't think that's another $800 a month, you know, $10,000.
Yeah, they're just doing it because they're used to it, right?
They're just, yeah.
We see a huge change coming up there, maybe, no? Because yeah, you are there, and people are in these high-paid, dense areas because they need to be close to the factories. But we see already people staying now longer in Tulum because they got set up the company. They said, yeah, you don't need to be in the office anymore, just work from wherever. And I think more in the past, we had just tourists in Tulum. Now we had actually also some freelancers already, but I think in the future, more people going to be in Tulum also on the area who are not on vacation, because they can just work and live in Tulum, because the destination is perfect for it. You're close to the airport. In 1 hour 20, you're at the international airport, have the perfect connection all over the world. And yeah, you got everything you need in Tulum to consider it a real paradise.
Absolutely. And I've worked remotely for the last 3 years, and I've worked in very low cost of living places, and I've looked to purchase real estate in these places as well. But the headaches associated with them typically are pretty significant, and you can just get an Airbnb for $30-40 a night in a lot of these places. That's substantial, has fast internet and all of these things.
Yeah, you should never buy where you live, because life is so flexible. You're an example. You travel all around the world too, so you don't know what happened with your life. Everything can change. So don't buy and live in something. Always rent. And if you want to buy real estate, buy somewhere where you make a good return of investment about it, right? And this is for me a tourist destination right now. So if you're bored in Tulum with us, don't stay in the unit, rent somewhere else or whatever, and let it run. And then you can say, how do you pay the unit where you're staying in? I pay with the unit I have running. Just let it run, and let it generate cash flow for you, and you live your life.
Absolutely. And it fits into this. I subscribe more to like the flag theory of things. I'm working for an American company being paid US dollars. If I buy a US property, then I'm pretty concentrated in the US economy. If I buy a property in, say, Mexico, then it's a little more diversified. Than I own some of my assets in another country, maybe Europe or something like that. Then it's a spreading your risk, not all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, with Mexico, you're obviously, Team Tulum the whole way. But if you were to be able to do it over again and do what you're doing now in another Mexican city, what city would that be and why?
Oh, difficult. I'm really in love in Tulum, and there's a lot of arguments around it, right? We have the biggest underground river in the world. So we're talking about water in the future. I got all the water right below me. What do you need to be happy? You need fresh air, and you need water. I got it all around me. You need trees. I got it all around me, and we make sure in every our development, like over 60% is included the green space. So it's for all the future generation. It's secured. And yeah, you need good people around you. And like I said, Tulum has incredible mix of talented, creative people who care about the world. So Mexico, it's one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. That is got already published all over the place. But it also is an island, because what are you going to do on Cuba? Beautiful beaches, but nothing to eat. What are you going to do in the Dominican Republic? Beautiful beaches, but it's too dangerous in a lot of the places. And you want to go to this other island, like Windward Island, it's crazy expensive because everything is like private kingdom. So Tulum has this magical, beautiful beach where you swim in the ocean and just see palm trees. And if you're tired of the beach, you jump in one of the 3,000 cenotes with crystal clear, sweet water. And there is so much to discover yet. I lived here now 10 years and I haven't been in a lot of places yet, and I haven't discovered a lot of cenotes yet because there's so many. And I love to travel inlands to Mexico. I'm the first human being who crossed all over Mexico with an electric car. And we did it twice already. I love the calidez, you call it, like the warmness of the Mexican people, in general, the Latin people, right? As a German, it doesn't matter which country you go, everyone is more friendly. But here it's
I didn't want to say that.
Here it's like heart opening. So I really found the country which fits perfect for me. I've really found the area which fits perfect for me. And like I said, you need to be flexible, whatever month. I travel around the world. I traveled this year around the world. I traveled last year around the world. So it's normal to travel around the world every year, actually, for me. And my base is Tulum. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to the US or somewhere else. So it's a perfect hub to go from here to wherever you want in the world. And it feels always great to be back. And it feels always great. It feels always to be back home if I come back. So, and I traveled everywhere more or less in Mexico. I know the Cabo beaches and everything, but nothing really quite compares to Tulum. So it's tough. It's tough. I'm really nothing quite like this. And Tulum, okay, we don't have shopping malls, for example. That's good. And sometimes I drive to Cancun and go there. Everything is Miami style right now in Cancun, and enjoy the big theater and the things you don't have to do. And then I go back to my jungle place. And Tulum is going to grow too. Like every week you see new restaurants, new stuff coming up, and exciting. It's exciting to be a part of a new growing society. And not everyone likes growing. But I always say, maybe it would be the best if Tulum just stays a nature park and human beings not even touch anything in Tulum. But that would mean there is no economic growing for the population. And the south of Mexico, especially this area, the Maya culture, they were relying on economic development to participate in the modern life. So we say, okay, if the government decided already to make development, let's talk how we can make the development as sustainable as we can do it. And I love that we were able to implement so many ideas in the community, in our developments, and even environmental plans, like the treatment plans that we make. No company has recollected so much garbage out of the jungle like we did. There's a lot of initiative we're doing. We're funding schools, and there's a lot of stuff we do. And I feel really grateful to be able to do this and to be with our amazing team, to be successful in everything we do. And even right now in tough times, I feel like we are closer right now with our team. We are closer right now with our clients. We're closer with people who are interested right now because they listen now more than ever. They say, oh, I think in some developments where they compared us with, they still not delivered, and we delivered like 1.5 years already. They notice now the difference between a professional developer and someone who's maybe just trying to get in the market quick and make a quick buck. So we love this challenge in time. And as an entrepreneur, you're looking always to provide solutions. And I think right now it's more important than ever. So you asked me about Tulum. There's nothing comparable.
Perfect. Well, it's on my list because I know it's changed a lot in 15 years.
And there's not really, you can go a little bit south. Tulum is also the perfect hub to go from there to all the other destinations. There's Cobalt, you drive 30 minutes, you can climb out a 42 meters Maya pyramid and you feel like the king of the jungle. This is amazing, but you don't want to stay there for 3 days. You just make a day trip. So Tulum is a perfect hub to stay and don't go anywhere, or to make excursions from there to Bacala, maybe a few beautiful 7 different colors lake, like 3 hours from Tulum. But you don't need to stay there for a few days. So some people talk this maybe the next destination. I don't see that. I think Tulum has a lot of key things which are hard to beat. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Tulum for, I think, the next 10 years.
Nico, really appreciate you taking the time. Where do you want to send my listeners?
I don't know. Yeah, wherever they want us to connect with. Social media, we everywhere. We have websites, old school websites. We have losamigostulum.com if you want to find out more on the web basis. We are Los Amigos Tulum. We are on Facebook, Instagram. My name is Nico Wilmes. I got even TikTok running right now. So we love to connect. We're probably the most public developer in our region. We love to communicate almost everything, what's happening. That's why I said to you to bring in, ask me anything. There is nothing you need to edit out. There is no secrets in our business. We love to be so transparent. But it's all about trust. People need to know what we're going to do all the time. And happy to connect with everyone who's interested. And thank you for the in-depth interview here. And hope to see you in Tulum very soon, man. There's no excuse anymore for you.
Yeah, I know, right? Well,
And Ben
really
invested
appreciate
already
you.
in 2 projects, I think.
Yeah, I talked to him a lot about Mexican real estate. It's something that's interesting for me. So,
He knows.
but anyways,
he knows.
Nico, really appreciate it. I'll link all of these things in the show notes and to you and Los Amigos. And thanks a lot for making the time. There you go. First off, thank you very much for listening all the way through. I hope you got a lot of value out of that conversation. As always, you can find show notes, links, and more at altassetallocation.com. Please share this with anyone you think might be interested and derive any value from this conversation. And as always, you can reach out to me for any feedback or questions. Please give the video a like, or even better, subscribe on YouTube or your podcast player of choice. This really helps others find the podcast or the video as well. Thanks a lot. Hope everybody has a fantastic day and stay safe out there and invest wisely. Cheers. 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 Cheers.